I've said from the beginning and from our first DOJ subcommittee meeting that we've really not talked about government efficiency or any real serious legislative work. But even I am surprised that this subcommittee is now apparently in charge of policing women's sports. Now, this is nothing to do with our committee's jurisdiction, as said earlier, and nothing to do with helping the American people. Now, Republicans in Congress are trying to destroy our health care and social safety net, as we've seen them do over and over again. Elon Musk is destroying critical medical research programs. We have a measles outbreak. We have an anti-vax health secretary. But apparently this committee wants to spend its time bullying trans kids and athletes and arguing about fencing tournaments. This is not only outrageous, it's also dangerous. Now, this committee is supposed to be about saving taxpayer dollars. And let's be really clear. Mr. Layfeld, USA Fencing doesn't receive large taxpayer-funded grants and doesn't really receive federal funding. Is that correct?
Sir, we do not receive a penny in federal funding.
So you do not receive a penny of federal funding, and we're spending our time in the Government Efficiency Committee debating a fencing tournament and your association, that of you which receive no federal dollars. Let's be clear. All kids and people deserve to be able to participate in sports. And USA Fencing and other sports have the right to lay out rules to make sure their sport is fair and safe. And we know that transgender youth and athletes experience all kinds of mistreatment because of their gender identity. This includes bullying in schools, family rejection, threats of violence, even by some in Congress, and other discrimination. Now, sports participation can actually help overcome some of this vulnerability. Now, we have a wide range of views on this committee, but I want to make sure that people are aware there is some bipartisan consensus. Here's a quote from one of my Republican colleagues who's actually on this committee today, which I want to read. I find it encouraging. It says, "I strongly support LGBTQ rights and equality. No one should be discriminated against. I have friends and family that identify as LGBTQ. Understanding how they feel and how they've been treated is important. Having been around gay, lesbian, and transgender people has informed my opinion over my lifetime." Now, Ms. Goss-Graves, do you know who said this by any chance?
I don't know.
This was actually Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who's, I know, waved on to our committee today. Now, Madam Chair, I'd like to insert into the record this article on CNN that says, titled, "Nancy Mace, now targeting transgender lawmaker, called herself pro-transgender rights in 2023. Madam Chairwoman?
Without objection.
Thank you. Now, Congresswoman Mace, of course, is here today. Now, in November of just last year, Congresswoman Mace posted 326 times on social media about trans people and their access to bathrooms in just one 72-hour period. That's a fact. So I'd like to introduce another article from Newsweek, and it's entitled, this is the title, "Nancy Mace has posted 326 times in the last 72 hours about bathrooms." Madam Chair, can I introduce this into the record?
Without objection.
Thank you. I point this out because it's actually important context. Republicans accuse Democrats of focusing too much on LGBTQ plus issues or trans issues. But we want to talk about protecting Social Security. We want to talk about protecting the cost of living. We want to talk about lowering prices. We want to make sure that all people have health care. But Republicans are so obsessed with demonizing trans people that we are wasting time in our Government Efficiency Committee talking about trans people that like fencing. Now, let's remember, according to congressional testimony from the head of the NCAA, there are less than 10 trans college athletes in 2024. That's less than 10 out of 500,000 total NCAA athletes. Less than 10 out of 500,000. Now, Congresswoman Mace has posted about this issue hundreds and hundreds of times. That's equal to hundreds of individual posts per athlete. All the while, we're ignoring the real issues. I want to remind everyone that we've seen 935 confirmed cases of the measles as of May 1st, according to the CDC. Nearly 1,000 children are getting sick while our country is hit by crisis after crisis. Let's focus on the 930 adults and kids with measles versus the 10 trans athletes that are participating in college sports. It is obvious to the American public that this issue is being exploited by extremists to divide the American public. It's shameful. It's been clear that DOJ is not about government efficiency. It's an attack on vulnerable people. And with that, I yield back.
The gentleman yields. I now recognize Mr. Timmons from South Carolina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are here today to shine a light not only on the integrity of women's sports, but on how government-backed institutions, chartered by Congress,